Skinny Hardaway T back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, I greatly appreciate you sliding through. If this your first time, do your boy solid. Don't make it your last time. Hit that subscription button there as well. We talk this good boxing, MMA, sports, parlays, predictions every single day, not just today, man. Breaking news yesterday. Not sure if you owned it, not sure if you heard about it, right? But if you hadn't heard about it, I'm gonna tell you about it today. And it's interesting, right? Because from the people who've been around here, for a minute, maybe you remember, maybe you don't, but I have been talking about the sequence of events that's happening with boxing right now on the whole, right? It's a lot of changeover that's going on in boxing right now. Maybe you know this, but maybe you haven't, right? But little small telltale signs, right? You got the PBC leaving Showtime, right? Boxing and MMA world, right? You got PBC leaving Showtime, right? PBC is no longer on Showtime. Showtime boxing is over with. HBO boxing died first, right? Now Showtime boxing is dead, right? You also got Bellator MMA, right? MMA that's dead, as well. That's no longer on Showtime. Both those were running on Showtime, for the longest. So Showtime boxing is pretty much gone right now. So maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't, right? PBC now handles their business on Prime. That's where the PBC fights at on Prime, right? So just one, just a couple of examples of, some changeover in boxing, right? You also have the new rider season that's going on in boxing right now. Some people like it, right, with Turkey. Some people don't, you know what I mean? But, Turkey has gotten into boxing, and now you have the whole rider season portion, you know what I mean, of boxing. But the news broke yesterday. Dana White broke this news. Dana White, UFC's, president, UFC's long-standing president. He's now in a partnership with his last name is Khan. His first name is blowing me right, but Khan is also one of the guys, that has a whole lot of money, right? And he's been investing in the sport of boxing. He's the guy that runs the WWE as well, right? So he's in WWE. He's over WWE and he's over the UFC. You know what I mean? If you know, if you don't know, right? The guy that Dana White is working with. So you got Dana White in the UFC, right? The one guy that's over him. These are the same people that's getting together with Turkey, right, to get into boxing. Dana White is going to be the face. Skills, what's good? Dana White is going to be the face of all of this, right? So I mentioned the changeover in boxing to lead you up into, right? Dana White is getting into boxing. I don't know if you heard the announcement. Now, it's been rumors for years that Dana White was getting in boxing. Maybe you know, but you remember Zuffa. Zuffa is no longer a company, but it was one of Dana White's partners years ago. Dana White was attempting to get into boxing, but it never happened, right? Well, now Dana White has gotten himself into boxing, and Turki Al-Sheikh is going to be backing Dana White. So now Dana White has the backing that he needs, and now Dana White is officially getting into boxing with this TKO Promotions. Now it's called TKO Promotions. That's the business side of it, right? TKO Promotions, right? That's the business side of it. But technically, this is going to be a league. Now, when I opened this, I said something about, for my people that have been here, right? If you've been here, you remember me saying that, boxing is trying to create a league where they have all the best fighters fight under one league. Right? They have all the best fighters fighting under one league. I made this video a while ago. This is a part of, the first step. Now, it hasn't all came together just yet, but it's coming together, you know what I mean, slowly, right? And also, I spoke a little bit. I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but I'm not. I'm really on the same thing, but I'm jumping points because I want to bring it all together for y'all. Also, right, me speaking about change in boxing. TopRank soon won't be on ESPN anymore, right? Top Rank Boxing soon won't be on ESPN anymore. I don't know if you heard about that or whatnot, but Top Ranks, ESPN isn't going to renew their deal with Top Rank. They said that they didn't want to have boxing on ESPN's program anymore, right? Well, what I'm hearing now is that this league right here, this league that Turki, Dana White, and Khan, right, who runs the WWE, and Turki, I see my girl Quickly say I just can't trust Turki. Quickly Turki, he's the guy that invested, in golf over here in America, right? He invested in soccer globally, right? He's one of the big reasons why the soccer league, you know what I mean, had that big, uprising support. Like he was behind that. He's behind the reason, we got that American Golf League now, over here in America where we can see, the older players golf. They come on ESPN. He's a big part of that, right? He's also a big part of cleaning up Turkey. So I know a lot of people are unfamiliar with him, but he's not unfamiliar with, taking these sports and rebuilding them. Boxing has never really had a governing, body, right? It's never really had anybody to, give it a structure. For a long time, people in boxing been saying, we want to see the best people fight the best. I'm tired of everybody having a belt. We got 4 or 5 belts, right? And I talked about this a while ago, right? So I'm kind of just regurgitating, right? But people, the boxing fans, we get tired of having 4 or 5 belts, right? We get tired of not seeing the best fight the best. We don't know who the champion is. Why is it 4 champions, right? What this league is, it's going to be 1 title and it's going to be 1 champion. Their goal is to get, the best fighters to fight one another, right? And I'm also hearing that the first show in this league is going to be Canelo versus Crawford, September 12th, right? So I'm hearing this is going to be the first main event for this new Dana White TKO's league. Now it's Turki and Dana working together. Dana White is basically, right? Dana White in this TKO boxing, and I'm not even sure if the name is going to stay TKO, right? But that's what it is right now. Dana White is basically going to be the new Bob Arum for American boxing, right? And I'm also hearing that, the reason that they can't disclose a media outlet just yet is because the media outlet that they're trying to partner with is going to be ESPN, right? So what I'm hearing is more than likely this TKO boxing league with Dana White and Turki is going to be in partnership with ESPN. At least that's where they're trying to go at this point. You see the news broke on ESPN, right? Maybe you know, maybe you don't. But this news broke on ESPN, right? The news about the boxing league, it broke on ESPN. So the rumors that's floating around is that this is going to be, pretty much the new ESPN boxing, this TKO league that Dana White and Turki, are introducing to us, which makes a lot of sense because Dana White is already in business with ESPN, right? Turki is already putting on fights. Now, those fights that Turki are putting on doesn't really have anything to do with Dana White, but the Canelo and Bud Crawford fight, right, was supposed to be in May, if you remember correctly, right? It was supposed to be in May, but it got pushed back, and it kind of sent everybody in the uproar, right? But now, what I'm figuring out, what I'm realizing, what I'm being told now is what I have discovered, right, in my homework is that the reason that fight is pushed back is because 9 times out of 10, that fight is going to be the first fight on this TKO boxing event, September 12th. You know what I mean? So the main event for this new promotions opening fight is going to be Canelo versus Crawford. And the idea that Dana White wants to do is he wants to have a card he wants to kind of bring the format, like, how people talk about, I want to get rid of all the belts. I want the best to fight the best. I did this EP a while ago, if y'all remember, right? I did this EP a while ago, and I explained it, how he wanted to have the ranking systems, kind of like the UFC ranking systems, right? Where, you got top 15 guys in the division. You got the whole division, right? Then you got the top 15 guys that sit alone, and you run, 10 through, and you run, 6 through 15 fight each other, and then 1 through 5 mix it up. That's kind of the same system that he wants to bring. Cookie said, yeah, I'm familiar with him, but when it comes to boxing is what I don't trust. Yeah, Cook, I get that, but I don't trust none of these people in boxing, right? So I ain't go, all the promoters get shitted on, right? So I guess, he just like anybody else, right? He come in here, he gets shitted on too, right? But I get the idea of where he's going with it. He can't make it no worse. You know what I mean? He can't make it worse. You know what I mean? But he said, I can see Dana and Turkey using their own belt. I'm going to cover that for y'all too. Using their own belt, having one belt per division like he did in the UFC, and not charge a percentage. Oh, yeah, I got, speaking on that too, JD. So the belt, right? You're right. Like, I brought it up a little bit about, them having one belt. My God, I appreciate that, JD, because, I'm kind of all over the place, because I'm trying to get y'all all this information, right? But I'm glad you said that, because they are going to have one belt. Now, the one belt that they're going to have, I don't know if you noticed. But maybe you have noticed from my boxing people. This is a boxing, this is some boxing information. Maybe you noticed, or maybe you didn't. But if you look around, you notice that there aren't any Ring Magazine champions anymore, right? There's actually one Ring Magazine champion. It's only one, and that's Teofimo Lopez. But if you noticed, there aren't any Ring Magazine champions at this point, right? So the belt that they're going to use in this new boxing league with Dana White and Turkey, which is mostly going to be ran by Dana White and funded by Turkey. That's the gist of what I got from it, listening to them information that I got. It's going to be funded by Turkey, but it's going to be ran by Dana White. But they're going to be using the Ring Magazine belt. So they're actually going to be fighting for the original Ring Magazine belt. The Ring Magazine belt is going to be at the top of every division. They're going to have the weight class, 130, 135, 140, 147, 154. And the belt at the top is going to be the Ring Magazine belt. That's what I'm hearing is going to happen. So it is going to be one division, one belt, and it's going to be the Ring Magazine belt. They're not going to create a new belt. They're going to use an original boxing belt. And I kind of like that idea better, right? I kind of like that idea better than having a whole new, TKO boxing belt, because then you could have people saying, well, that belt don't hold no weight. That league don't hold no weight. But if you got something that the people can relate to, the people are familiar with the Ring Magazine belt, then I think you get more of, the top fighters actually maybe wanting to compete, bringing relevancy back to the Ring Magazine title. The Ring Magazine, Turkey Al-Sheikh bought Ring Magazine, and he Shade Girl, and he brought Ring Magazine back, right? He also, when he bought Ring Magazine, he bought the Ring Magazine belt. So the title at the top of the new boxing league, the TKO boxing league, is going to be the Ring Magazine title. So the fighters will be fighting to get the Ring Magazine belt, right? So there'll be there's only one Ring Magazine champion right now, and that's Teofimo Lopez. And that's Teofimo Lopez. But the Ring Magazine title is the title that this league is going to be fighting for. And I like that idea a lot better than just, getting a new belt, right? Because that could be kind of that could be kind of joke-ish, right? But the Ring Magazine belt is the same belt that Floyd Mayweather held, same belt Muhammad Ali held, right? Sugar Ray Leonard, all those guys had the Ring Magazine, right? So it's some history in that belt, and there's some relatability with that belt. But the setup is pretty much going to be like, you know, the UFC's ranking system with this league. And the first card is going to be September 12th, and it's going to headline Canelo and Bud is the opening card. Now that Canelo and Bud thing, that's what I'm telling y'all, right? That hasn't been announced yet. I'm telling y'all that Canelo and Bud is going to be the first fight under this new promotional banner. And the setup, what they're going to do is they're going to have, you know, a lot of. It's going to be a prospect league in the sense, right? That's what it's going to be, a prospect league. Really going to be for like up and coming fighters trying to make their name and get promotion. You know what I mean? To get the names out there, fight on ESPN, fight under the Dana White, you know, ledger and whatnot to get them going. But what they're going to do is they're going to have like a regional boxing, right? They're going to have like one-time, you know, contracts, two-time fighters come in. Like, for example, I give y'all an example. Canelo Alvarez is on a 4-fight deal with Turki Al-Sheikh. Turki Al-Sheikh is partners with the TKO league. So they're going to have, let's just say they're going to have all our favorite prospects, right, on one card. And then they're going to bring in Canelo versus this guy, right? Or they'll have all our top prospects on one card, and they'll bring in a main event. They'll have, you know, Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney to headline, you know what I mean, at the top of the TKO boxing card, because Turki, the fighters that's working with Turki, basically this is the American outlet for these fights to happen. Because a lot of people have a problem with Turki, you know, taking all the fights and taking them back to Saudi Arabia. This is basically the American form of that. Right? This is for American boxing. This is our own leg of American boxing. He's still going to be doing his fights over there in Turkey. But for the people that want to see our fighters fight in America, right? I know a lot of people have been asking. A lot of people have been, you know, saying that, man, we get the fights, but we got to go all the way over there to, you know, Turkey to get them. Well, this right here is going to cut all of it out. That's what this is for. This is the bridge to the American having our fights in America, right? And I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but I told y'all they've been testing this out. They've been testing this theory out, you know, not just for a while now, not just with this card, right? This Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, right? This Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney card, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez card, right? That's getting promoted right now. It's going to be in the middle of Madison Square Garden. They ran that Madison Square Garden. That's Turki Al-Sheikh. Everything that Turki is doing right now is pretty much practice. You know what I mean, for this new league that's about to happen. You see, he's been working with, you know, the guys from across the pond, and now he's working with Dana White in America. So he's still going to continue to run his thing over there. But this Dana White is going to pretty much be running American boxing in a sense, right? Dana White pretty much is going to take on, you know, the burden of the American boxing. Now, I'm not going to say that this thing is going to be. Let me see. I'm not going to say that, you know, this thing is going to be 100%, you know, a success. But I will say this, right? I will say this. With what the hell that's going on, it can't be, you know, that much worse. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get this light out y'all face. With everything that's going on, it can't be that much worse than, you know, the state that we already in. Let me change my style a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Let me change my style a little bit. But yeah, it can't be no worse than what's already going on. He said Ring Magazine belt is perfect for it. Turki been playing this all along. Yeah, JD, I've been talking about it for a minute. I've been talking about it, you know what I mean, for a minute of what's going on and what they are trying to do. Actually, I'm all with it because I really feel like that Turkey really is paying attention to what's going on and what's being said out in the streets, right? Because the thing was, we was getting the fights at first, right? But people were saying they all in Turkey. Well, now he's bringing them over here to America. Dana White has been trying to get into boxing for a long time. You know what I mean? He just allowed Dana White to get into boxing. You know what I mean? So I really do think with the model that Dana White has with the UFC, I think a little bit of that will be good for boxing, right? I think a little bit of that culture will be good for boxing. I think with boxing culture, we so stuck on, you know, fighters having the fighters don't want to fight nobody because they don't want to lose. Fighters don't want to fight nobody because they don't want to lose their luster, right? Because in boxing, you lose your luster, right? They don't want to fight nobody. They don't want to challenge themselves so they can keep their stock high to get money. Turkey is putting money into boxing so fighters don't have to think about things like that, right? You know what I mean? That's why I don't see why people hate him so much. Honestly, me personally, I don't see why they hate him so much. I understand. Well, he taking all our fights away and putting them over there. Well, now he's starting to bring them back over here, right? So that problem ain't gonna be, that problem ain't gonna last too much longer. Hell, y'all really think, right? Maybe you care about it, maybe you don't, right? But y'all really think that we'll be able to have Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and Devin Haney on the same card if it wasn't for the Turki Al-Sheikh dude? And I ain't saying Turki Al-Sheikh is just the best thing in the world for boxing, right? But what I am saying is he seems to have a plan. You know what I mean? He seems to have a plan, and he seems to know where he want to go with, with boxing. And it seems like he kind of gave it to it seems like he kind of gave it to, actually though he said he's handing over basically the American boxing to Dana White. So it looks like Dana White gonna be the one running the show for us over here. But what I'm hearing is the media outlet is going to be on ESPN. That's what I'm hearing. He said, Dana White said that they're trying to work out a deal with different media outlets. He can't say the name exactly, right? Can't say the name exactly right now because they are in negotiations and whatnot. They're trying to figure something out. But from what I'm hearing, from what I've been told, it's going to be on ESPN. So it's kind of going to replace Dana White's boxing promotion is going to replace Top Rank on ESPN, is what I'm being told. Now, that we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see, right? Exactly how true that is. I found in my doobie. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see exactly how true that is. But what I'm being told is, this is going to be airing on ESPN. And if it's airing on ESPN, I think that's going to be real good, for promotion. Like think about it like this. Over the years, because it's so easy to access ESPN. The top ranked fighters, especially coming up, the top ranked fighters are some of the more recognizable fighters, right? Because they're always on ESPN. They always free TV, right? Pretty much. And like the UFC, I think the UFC is so successful because it's on ESPN, something that's easily accessible, just like the PFL. Some people think the PFL, might, hold on. Okay, there we go. Some people think the PFL may end up going out of business. I personally don't because of his backing. I think with Turkey backing this league, man, they're going to be able to pretty much do what they want to do. What I really would like, it's like, because boxing fans ask for Boxing fans ask for things, right? And then when they get it, they forget that they asked for it, or they complain about the shit that they asked for. Because what have most boxing fans been saying for the longest? Man, boxing need to get out under one promotion. Boxing need to get more organized. Boxing need to get rid of all of these belts. You know what I mean? And with this new promotion / league, that's what Dana White and them trying to do. So if you don't take nothing else from this video, I want you to take the fact that few nuggets I want to drop on you. I want you to take the fact that a while back I told y'all, about boxing, starting the league, with a ranking system where they're gonna try to have all the boxers under one banner. This is the league. Got announced yesterday. I didn't know Dana White was gonna be running the league, right? But I knew that they were trying to get, a league, and they're trying to get, the best boxers. Now, the opening show, this hasn't been announced yet, but I'm telling you this. Telling you this. The opening show is going to be Bud versus Canelo, right? So getting the best boxers under the same roof, under the same card, that's most definitely what, he doing with that main event, because that's the fight that's going to headline it. Bud and Canelo are Turkey fighters. But Canelo signed a 4-fight deal. Bud, I don't know how many fight deal that he signed, but he's locked in with Turkey, right? Been locked in with Turkey since he left ESPN TopRank, right? Been locked in with those guys over there. When he first left, he won with Turkey, but after a while, after this shit got cleaned up, he found Turkey, or Turkey found him, right? But I digress. So those two Turkey Al-Sheikh fighters are going to headline the first fight card in this league. I'm guessing that Dana White is talking about, finding prospects. There's a lot of prospects that people don't know about. What Dana White want to do in the beginning, at least, right? While Turkey is going to supply him the big name fighters, right? What Dana White is going to do, Dana White said he wants to find the best prospects, right? All the undefeated prospects, all the guys we think are the best that's coming up. He wants to put all of them under the same banner, right? And have all of them face off with one another. Signed to the promotion. He want to have all the prospects signed to the promotion ranking system, fighting one another, building themselves up to fight for the championship, which will be the Ring Magazine belt. Another nugget. The Ring Magazine is the belt that this league is going to have at the top, right? It's going to be one belt. It's going to be one belt. It's going to be one belt, and it's going to be the Ring Magazine belt, right? The catch is, getting the stars to align. But Turkey has already been getting the stars to align. Turkey can pretty much get any boxer that he wants on this card, right? He got Canelo on this card. He had Bud Crawford on this card. He had AJ on this card. He had Tyson Fury on this card. He's had pretty much every boxer that matters in boxing outside of, the PBC fighters, pretty much. Because, they fight on Prime. Right, but pretty much every boxer who's anybody, you see, top-ranked fighters have been fighting a lot on those Turkey cards, right? Even some PBC fighters have been fighting that Turkey. Carlos Adames just fought on that Turkey card. So really, when you think about it, even the PBC fighters, not named Tank, are probably going to be eligible to fight on this card. Remember, I told you a while ago, same video I told you about the new league, right? Around the same time, if you want the same video, right? What Turkey is trying to do, he's trying to bring the whole boxing together under one roof. Everybody is already willing, to do business with him. He's already made friends with Eddie. He's made friends with Frank. He's made friends with the guys that run the zone. Now he's made friends with ESPN and Dana White. You know what I mean? I'm even hearing about him trying to do something with basketball. He had a meeting with Shaq the other day, right? You know what I mean? About creating a whole nother NBA in another country. But anyway, I digress. I'm saying all this shit to say that he can't do no worse than what's been going on. I like the idea of it, but it's like as soon as somebody started trying to take away the belts and get everybody in the same spot, everybody under the same banner, everybody under the same ranking system, he started getting hella pushback for trying to do that. You know what I mean? People start looking at it like, oh, y'all trying to kiss Turkey boot. Well, Turkey said, okay, I'm going to let Dana White do this in America, right? So he's bringing it back to America, and it's probably going to be on ESPN. You know what I mean? So let's see how that work. Let's see how that smooth over with the fans. You know what I mean? But the first fight on this promotion is going to be September 12th. Now, they ain't dropped that yet, but I'm telling y'all that, right? The first fight is going to be in September. It's going to be September 12th. And the main event is going to be Bud versus Canelo. I'm interested to see exact how many other fighters that they get to this TKO promotion, right? I want to see how they go, how they're going to do this. Now, he kept saying prospect this, prospect that, but, you know, you got to have, I get it, you know, with the prospects to build them up, put them on TV, put us in front of them so we can see and we can pick which one. You know, they'd be like, kind of like, you know, how Floyd Mayweather did that TMT tournament that Tank won years ago. That's basically what Dana White gonna do on the bigger stage, right? But like the in-between guys, and actually when I think about it, it's not gonna be that hard for him because he already got T.O. and Ryan and Devin. Hold on for let my dog in. He already got T.O., Ryan, and Devin to be on the same card, right? And when you start to think of some of the biggest stars in boxing, those not number 1 and 2, but the biggest stars in boxing has already been on Turkey card. So anybody who's willing, pretty much, you know what I mean, can get in this. It's, you know, I feel like Turkey is actually exposing the people who don't want to fight the best fighters. You know what I mean? Because basically what he's doing is he's paying the boxers what they want. So he's taking money out of the issue. So if you won't get on the Turkey Alex Sheik card, it ain't because you're not getting paid. It's probably because you just don't want that smoke. Hold on. Yeah, my bad. But yeah, if you ain't trying to get on that Turkey Alex Sheik card, it ain't because of the money. Like you can't use that. Oh, the money wasn't right. You can't use the money wasn't right. You know when it comes to Turkey Alex Sheik because we know the money right. But if you just pay attention, if people just pay attention like to what's going on, if you saw a couple of my older EPs, you know what I mean about you know merger with all of the sanctioning bodies and even the PBC, right? You just saw Carlos Adames, a PBC fighter, fight on a Rider season card. He fought Hamza Shiraz, right? So even they are starting to, you know, make their way, you know, over there type deal. Pitbull Cruz and Ed Rayo fought on the Rider season card, right? So it ain't that the PBC actually is working with Turkey as well, right? You know what I mean? But basically I made this EP, man, because see what we talked about a while ago, right? It's happening now. You know what I mean? It's happening. I don't know if y'all remember, but I did an EP and said that, you know, they're trying to get all of the best boxers under one roof and under a ranking system so they can have these guys fight, you know, one another. This is it. This is the beginning of the TKO boxing promotion. TKO boxing league is really what it's going to be. Listen to it. TKO, TopRank, like it's go more than likely, right? Right now, the feel is what I'm hearing, right? And nobody else said this but me. The feel is that it's going to be on ESPN. You know, they're trying to negotiate media with ESPN. He said you don't get protected from fighting the best with Turkey. Yeah, facts, JD. Facts. You know what I mean? And that's why I can get jiggy with it. You know what I mean? That's why I can get jiggy with it. I ain't mad at it, right? Because he paying them what they want, right? And with this, you know that the money, hold on. With this, you know that the money ain't gonna run out, right? I'm finna go get me some water. I'm finna take y'all with me. That's why I turned it. You with Turki, right? You know that the bread not gonna run out because he's backing it. He said he told y'all where he getting his money from. He said he getting his money from, the motherfucking king of fucking Saudi Arabia. He said he's standing behind him 100%. And Turki said he's standing behind Dana 100%. He said he's passing the torch of American boxing to Dana White. That's what in his mind, right? In Turki's mind, right? He's trying to fix the sport of boxing. In Turki's mind, he's trying to fix the sport of boxing by basically paying the fighters what they want. My thing is, though, the one issue I do have with this isn't necessarily Turki, right? My thing is Dana White, because we know how he run, the UFC, and if you compare like the UFC purses, to the boxing purses, Dana White gonna have to up the bag a little bit as far as, what he's paying a boxer versus what he's paying, the MMA fighters. But if maybe that's why Dana White is hitting so much on, the prospect aspect of it, right? Because Dana White is just trying to pay prospect money. That's why in my mind, I'm really feeling like that the bigger name fights are going to be, the Turki Al-Sheikh fight. I still believe that Turki is going to be doing his thing. I still feel like Turki, right, is going to be doing his thing as far as over there in Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. The feel that I got from it is that Dana White is going to basically, man, Dana White is the new Bob Arum as far as, the boxing goes, because Dana White is the figure. He is the head of UFC, right? But he don't own it anymore. He's going to own this boxing league and promotion, right? What Turki wants Dana White to do is build a boxing league similar to what he did with the UFC. You know what I mean? So I don't doubt that Dana White can do it. I'm doubting if you could actually manage the boxers like you manage the UFC fighters, because boxers still operate under the Muhammad Ali Act, right? And we all know, well, you might not know, right? But another, newsflash, some more information for you, right? I mentioned Zuffa boxing earlier. I mentioned Dana White has been trying to get into boxing for a while now. He just broke through this time. But if you remember, Dana White and his team, Zuffa Boxing, right, which no longer exists, when they were trying to get into boxing the first time, they wanted to get rid of the Muhammad Ali Act, right? So I wonder, is Dana White still on that same kind of time of, I want to get rid of the Muhammad Ali Act so he can pay the fighters whatever he wants to pay them, right? Or is Turki Al-Sheikh going to be the bridge to that, where Dana White can spend, Turki's money instead of spending Dana White's money, and it's not going to be a problem maybe having to pay the boxers $50,000 per fight guaranteed instead of $30,000 a night if you win the fight like you do in UFC. I think that aspect of it could be difficult, knowing Dana White's business acumen. But if Dana White isn't spending his money, he's spending his Turki money, then boom, I think that's everything gonna be water under the bridge as far as pay and whatnot. But a lot of people are interested, like in the format and the ranking system. What Dana White pretty much said is it's going to look just like the UFC as far as the ranking system and the formats and how they fight. What I'm more interested in is these checks that Dana White go be cutting. You know what I mean? But if he going straight prospects, then right, he can pay them. You know what I mean? The 30,000, you know what I'm saying? 25,000, 15,000, and stuff like that. He most definitely can pay them that because they're prospects on the come up, right? But I'm looking at it as if from what I gathered from it all, the league, I dropped the video a while back. The league that I was talking about, from what I gathered, this is the league. I didn't know Dana White would be, the president of it, right? But this is the league. They're going to be using the Ring Magazine belt as the title for each division. That's why you don't see any more Ring Magazine champs. Turki bought a Ring Magazine earlier this year or last year, sometime, right? Turki bought a Ring Magazine, right? So he owns the Ring Magazine belts. The only Ring Magazine champion still is Teofimo Lopez. That's why, Teofimo Lopez said yesterday, I'm your champion. He said, I'm your champion, the Ring Magazine champion. I am your champion, right? He's the Ring Magazine champion, but he's the only one right now. The belts that the Ring Magazine is going to have, the belt that this new boxing league is going to have at the top is the Ring Magazine, so it's not going to be a new belt, right? But if you pay attention, man, they already kind of doing it, right? They already kind of doing it. You got Rolly, you got Teo versus Barboza. You got Devin versus Ramos, and then you got Ryan. Then you got Ryan versus Rolly Romero in Madison Square Garden. Right? They are already doing it, right? If you really pay attention, they are already doing it. That's a Turki card. What Turki has been doing, what other time have you seen Pitbull and Rolly fight on the same card as Big Baby and Bakole, right? And then you have Bud and Madrimov on the same card. You know what I mean? So they have already been doing it, so it ain't entirely new. This isn't entirely new. It's just starting to get a name and a face to it, right? Starting to get dates on it. But I guarantee you that he said boxing fans are going to see better level of production on fight night than they're used to. Yeah, JD. Boom. Appreciate that, JD. Dana White Show said, and if you're wondering about how the production is going to go, he said it's going to look just like a UFC fight night. He said you're not going to have to wait an hour for a fight, and then you have a fight, and then after the fight, they do a podcast for 45 minutes, and then you have another fight. It's going to be a continuation of fights. Dana White is going to be putting on. Dana White, it's boxing, right? So it lasts a little longer, but he said it's going to be a lot faster than what people are used to the new league. I actually think people are going to like it. It's going to be like UFC. Now UFC had those fight night cards. We're going to be getting boxing every week. You know what I mean? We're going to be getting boxing every single week. Like we know it's coming. We ain't got to wonder who come. And I'm guessing if he going to run it like he run it, he going to already have the schedules out. You know what I mean? My thing is, though, where is he going to find, enough boxers? Because I kind of like, he run the Contender Series with the UFC, right? This basically could be, but with boxing, a version of the Contender Series, right? And then at the top, have Turki bring in, the big name, the big name main event fighters, which is the field that I'm getting from, what I was being told. Because Turki himself, got fighters, right? A few fighters. Canelo is signed directly to Turki. Bud is signed directly to Turki. Hamza Shiraz is signed directly to Turki. right? You know what I mean? So I think this actually good for the sport, man. I think it's actually good for the sport. Now I'm a little curious about Dana White, right? And exactly how. Not even. I'm curious in how the funds go be issued out, right, with Dana, because UFC pay is a lot different from boxing pay. But if Dana not spending his own money and he's spending Turkey money, it's gonna be Turkey that's paying the fighters, right? So I think that problem gonna take care of itself. But ain't nobody had a problem with Turkey check up until now, right? You ain't heard not one of those boxers over there complain about money. You heard him complain about well, he said, well, a couple boxers got sick, right? I don't know what that's about, right? A couple boxers got sick and whatnot, but you ain't heard nobody complain about not getting paid no bread over there, right? So I'm excited because I kind of been seeing this in the water for a minute. Right? I did the EPs a while back, and I told y'all about a new league was coming. He trying to get everybody under one banner. They gonna do a UFC style, right, and whatnot. And I said this a while back, man. Boxing could do good embracing a little bit of the MMA culture, right? The biggest thing is the O. You know what I mean? I mentioned it a little bit earlier about boxers not wanting to really test themselves or fight anybody because they might lose their O, and then once you lose your O in boxing, it decreases your value and whatnot. I think boxing could take a little bit of that from MMA culture. Like an MMA guy could have 9 fucking losses, right? You go on a crazy, insane, run like a 5-fight win streak or whatnot. It don't matter if you got 9 goddamn losses. It mainly matters about what you're doing. It mainly matters about what you're doing right now. You know what I mean? In MMA, your run that you on right now. I think boxing would do good with taking that aspect of it from MMA culture, as you losing one fight doesn't end your career. You get very few you don't get a whole lot of opportunities in boxing, right? You got some guys, you could be extremely talented in boxing, right, and still get left out the mix because you're not signed to a promoter or you're not signed to the right promoter. What this doing right here is the TKO is basically going to be the promotion. It's going to be like a UFC style type setup. You know what I mean? Fighters gonna come every week and they gonna fight. You know what I mean? UFC is going to be on Fridays, so on Saturdays. So I'm interested to see exactly what days, right, we're going to be getting these fights and whatnot, or exactly how it's going to work with him having, with Dana White running UFC. Now you go get into boxing. What you gonna have? You gonna have a UFC card and a boxing card on the Saturday, right? Or are we gonna be getting these boxing fights during the week? You know what I mean? I'm interested. I'm curious exactly on how that's going to go. Or are you going to have like a UFC event in California, and then you gonna have a boxing event in New York or something like that? But you still gonna want people to watch both, right? Or is your boxing event gonna be on free TV, and then you gonna have the UFC event pay-per-view, right? I'm interested in that. Like, I'm interested in that. Is it going to be on ESPN? But what I'm hearing right now is that's really what I'm waiting on right now. That's the biggest thing that I'm waiting on right now. How true is, I do believe that the ESPN negotiations are true because, Dana White already has a relationship with ESPN. So why would he want to, take his product, somewhere else? And he already has a relationship with them. So I do very well believe that there's negotiation going on. I hope that it closes out right and it does get on ESPN and they do, sign an immediate deal with ESPN because ESPN is easily accessible, right? And I like, the ESPN app, right? So we'll be able to go to our favorite boxing and boxers, right? Straight from the ESPN app. And I think that'll be some of the coolest shit, you know what I mean, in the world. I'm interested in exactly who the roster is going to be as well. But if they're saying the first card is going to be in September, right? Which I believe, right? And I'm just putting two and two together. I'm just putting two and two together as far as, you know what I mean, that Bud and Canelo. He said September 12th is going to be the first event. And then they said that they got some of the biggest names in boxing on this card. He said they got mega stars on this card. The fight gonna be September 12th. Who else fights in September? Right? Who else fights in September? September 12th. It's a Turki Al Sheikh fighter. Canelo just signed a 4-fight deal. September 12th is literally his fucking date. You get what I'm saying? Right. So that's me telling y'all that first fight is going to be Canelo Alvarez versus. Actually, Turki said it himself, bro. I ain't slow. Turki said it himself. He wanted us to know. That was him leaving. That was him leaving the breadcrumb. But this really did. This information right here, I got this straight from Turki. Like this ain't, you know what I mean? This came straight out of Turki. He said this in the interview. They matter of fact, I give you the source. He said this on Pat McAfee's show. Right, go watch what Turki said on Pat McAfee. Don't know if y'all checked it out, but Bud versus Canelo is going to be the first fight in this new fight league. Now, again, I'm not sure if I don't think Bud nor Canelo is signed directly, you know, to the fight league. I think that's going to be like a Turki Al Sheikh, you know, letting them borrow him, which makes a lot of sense because Turki Al Sheikh is the guy, right? He's not getting out of it. He's saying it like he's getting out of it, but he's not getting out of it. I think he's going to let Dana. I think he's going to let. I think he's just going to let Dana White control the American side of it, right? Because you know he's not going to be over. He's not going to be living over here, right? So I'm thinking he's going to let Dana White, you know what I mean, control the American side. That's actually exactly what he said. He said, I'm putting it in Dana White's hands, and whatever he says, I support. That's basically what he said, right? So it sounds like to me that, you know, he just going to be funding Dana's moves. Take, MMA. What's good, Tay? Appreciate you sliding through this time. And here talking about the news that just broke yesterday. Yeah, Tay. See, I know you up. I know you up on how long, you know, Dana really been trying to get into it. That we might see some crossover in boxing and UFC. Tay, do what I said right, but they asked Dana White about it. I mean, we already been seeing it. You know, you know, boxing and UFC. They asked Dana White about it. Will he let some of the UFC fighters participate in the boxing? He was like, no, it's not something that he really want to see. He said he gonna let the boxers box and he gonna let the MMA fighters do MMA. But he also said, if guys want to fight guys, you know, you won't be able to stop that. But yeah, that's the same thing that I said. I said, I wonder if some of the MMA guys go to boxing, but Dana kind of shot that down. Dana kind of shot that down. He kind of shot that down, but I'm with it though. I think it's actually great. I think it's actually great for the sport. You know what I mean? The format, like the setup. I think this basically what I asked for. I think is Dana White would be good. I think he's great in the sense of the way because if boxing was ran like the UFC, just the structure of it, right, with the one belt, which is what a lot of boxing fans been asking for. A lot of boxing fans been asking for, man, we need to get one belt. We need to get all the boxers under the same banner, right? And a lot of us had a problem with it because, you know, it wasn't in America. Well, this is the American faction of what's going on. Now, Dana White is going to be running it. Now, how you feel about Dana White is really going to be, you know, because Turki is basically taking his face out of it, right? Because people have taken a dislike to Turki for whatever reason, right? For whatever reason. I think mostly it has to do, I think it's mostly, you know, the tank people, the tank guys. Most of the time when I see people have problems with Turki, it's mostly just the tank people, right? You know what I'm saying? It's the tank portion. Just about every time, actually. I haven't seen a person like most of the people who not tank maniacs, you know, actually like the fact that we get in the fights. You know what I mean? And now that they starting to put the fights in America, right, we actually get to go to them because that's what people was complaining about, right? The fights not being in America. So now that he actually starting to put them in America, and you know how Dana White do it, and Dana White said this. Dana White said, we gonna go around city to city, you know, putting on these cards. He go do it just like he do MMA. So that means every week in a different city in America, right, he's going to be having fights for us to go see. You know what I mean? That's lit. Like, people really not understanding. Like my guy JD said it, it's about to be a whole different level of production. You know what I mean? Week to week, city to city. That means 1 week, you know, we're going to have, you know, TKO boxing, Vegas. Next week, TKO boxing, Miami. TKO boxing, Pasadena. TKO boxing, Georgia. You get what I'm saying? Like, this really gonna be lit. Like, people really not, I don't think a lot of people grasping what's going on yet, because I think a lot of people just want to kill Turki, want to hate Turki so bad. But I think once people start to grasp, hate Turki and Dana, right? You know what I mean? I think once people start to grasp the concept of what's really about to happen, they gonna realize, man, this really is the best thing. And when Dana White was on ESPN and they was talking about the new boxing league and whatnot, the way that Stephen A was praising them, he was praising them as if he knew something, right? As if he knew that, you know what I mean, they're going to be on ESPN. Because I really and truly believe that they haven't announced the roster, or they haven't announced, you know, a media outlet yet, because they're still negotiating it. But I truly believe that the media outlet is going to be ESPN. Right? I'm hearing that they're negotiating. That's really what I'm hoping, because I think that'll be the best way to bring boxing back, right? Because the top-ranked fighters, you know, a lot of casuals, at least sports casuals, right? You know, the football players, the basketball players, baseball players, those guys, soccer players, they watching ESPN at all times, right? So when it's a fight on ESPN, what they doing? They watching ESPN. So they know a lot of those top-ranked fighters, right? So if I'm Dana White and I'm already working with ESPN, with UFC, I'm trying to stay over there on ESPN, which is what they're doing. And I think ESPN really is the best way to promote a younger fighter or a newer fighter, or to get, you know what I mean, a name out there. My thing with Top Rank was, you know, once you get to a certain level, you got to leave Top Rank because they don't want to pay you. I don't think that the TKO promotion is going to have that problem of, you know, not wanting to pay, you know, their fighters, because I think they're going to be working with their turkey bag. They are going to be working with their turkey bag, right? So I don't think that's going to be a problem. You know what I mean? So I do hope it ends up being the media outlet ends up being ESPN, right? Because I don't have a problem, you know what I mean, with the zone. I don't have a problem with the zone, right? But like you said, this is American boxing, right? This is what this being sold at. This is what's being built up at. This is what I got from it, right? This is going to be like American boxing for us. So I would much rather it be on ESPN. And also, I would say this. If Eddie Hearn mentioned something about retiring the same day that this news broke, I don't know if that was just to get the attention off that news a little bit, right? You know what I mean? Which is what I think it was, right? you know, oh, now he got competition with Dana White, so let me do something on the day that he announced to kind of take the attention off of, you know, Dana White making his announcement a little bit. Oh, I might retire from boxing, right? You know what I mean? Dana White getting in boxing, I might retire from boxing. So now we're talking about either retiring, right, instead of Dana new promotion and his new promotion, right? But if I'm them, right? Oh, like UK boxing really isn't suffering, right? American boxing is the boxing that's suffering, right? Boxing is ranked top 10 over there in the UK. It's number 7. Boxing in America is barely ranked number 20. We are the ones who need to shake something up with our boxing, you know what I mean, system, right? United States used to be the mecca of boxing. I know people, me too, right? We're having a hard time dealing with the fact right now that America, right, isn't the best place to breed boxing anymore. It's really not. I'm not saying that America don't have the best boxers, because we do have the best boxers, but our platforms, our boxing system, boxers compared to the other sports and their stars is not the same in America as it used to be. You know what I mean? I think, you know, the UK boxing scene, they gonna be just fine. It's the American boxing scene that needed a boost, you know, a kickstart. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all know the average age of the boxing fan in America at this point. The average age of the boxing fan in America at this point is 40 years old. The average age of the boxing fans in the other countries are 28 years old, right? So boxing fans in America are mostly the older generation. You know what I mean? So in a sense, right, boxing in America is declining, right? I ain't gonna say that it's dying, but the fans boxing in America isn't necessarily gravitating and grasping younger fans, new fans that's going to keep the sport going like it grabbed us when we were younger, right? The sport grabbed us when we were younger, and we still support it up until our 40s over here in America. But at some point, American boxing lost its luster, and it's not grabbing the young people like it used to grab the young people. You know what I mean? I think bringing this league, you know, to the forefront can help with that, getting it on national publications, you know, weekly, like a ESPN. So I think this is damn good for boxing, right? I talked about this a while back, and it's starting to come into, you know, fruition. I'm ready for it. You know what I mean? I'm ready for the first event. First event is going to be September 12th. It's going to be the Canelo Bud card. That fight we already know about. I'm really ready to see the other fights that they're going to have on that Canelo Bud card. But the Canelo Bud card is going to open up their league. It's going to be the main event fight. I'm not necessarily saying that Canelo and Bud are part of the league, which they probably is in a sense, because they're Turkey fighters, and it is a league that Turkey has invested in, right? So why wouldn't they be fighting over there, right? But they're most definitely going to be headlining the first event. Like that TKO that got announced, the first headliner card is going to be Canelo and Bud Crawford, right? So that's cool. I'm interested to see, you know, the undercard that Dana White and Turkey go put on for that card, and exactly how they go introduce the ranking, how the first ranking system go work. That's why I'm really interested to see which fighters that they're going to have. You know what I mean? Which fighters that they're going to have. You know what I mean? Exactly on their roster. But I ain't gonna keep y'all in this thing too long, man. I gotta get myself together. I gotta make some plays today, right? We got NCAA basketball starting bright and early, so I want to get into that, get into my plays for the day, make myself some money, man. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing. The stuff that I talked about, months and months ago, right? About the merger and the new league coming, and them trying to get everybody under one banner, to fight for one belt. Had a ranking system like the MMA 1 through 15 and whatnot. It's all coming to fruition right now, man. But I greatly appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing. Skin the heart away, Southern T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future, but just the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love. And y'all make sure y'all tell a friend to tell a friend, man. But if you don't take nothing else from this EP, right? Point, like just to get y'all a couple pinpoints, right? Boom. The first card gonna be September 12th. Bud and Canelo go headline it. They gonna have one belt. They gonna have one belt in each weight class. Gonna be the top. It's gonna be like 15 fighters in each weight class. One belt in each weight class. The belt is gonna be the Ring Magazine belt. So September 12th, Bud and Canelo main event. The Ring Magazine belt is going to be the belts that they're going to be fighting for at the top of every division. And the goal is to get more American fighters promoted in the eyes of Americans to bring, some luster back to the sport. You know what I mean? Dana White is going to be run. This is going to be his promotion, but it's going to be more like, a league, kind of like TopRank. And the news that I'm getting, the news that I'm getting is that it's going to be on ESPN. It's going to replace Top Rank Boxing on ESPN. Is this TKO promotion, right? So very well, though, this could be on ESPN, and it's going to be ran like the UFC is ran. You're going to have weekly shows every week. You're going to have a schedule, right, of the boxing fights before they, even happen, like the UFC. It's going to be city to city, mostly in America, like the UFC. So I think, man, that's going to be really, really, really cool once it actually start to unfold. I think people going to love it, man. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Skin the Hardaway Southern T. This ain't the past. This ain't the present. I mean, my bad, I'm tripping. This ain't the past. This ain't the future, but this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.